I spent...
I'm just a dickhead. I mean...
I spent 2 years in Bali, right? And maybe like 5 years ago when people talk to me about Bali, like going to Bali and going drinking and, oh, it would be so nice if I went to Bali and spent like a whole day at the beach and drinking, just normal shit. Like
yeah.
But then something would like trigger me and be like, Bali's not that kind of place. Bali's not what you think it is.
Yeah. My Bali isn't like that. Yeah.
Bali's such a like a sacred place. Like,
For
and
sure.
I always like want to say something about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's funny, but because what we're actually doing, I do the same. Like when I came to Japan, I was like, oh fuck, man, I'm all good. I'm just gonna chill. And then people who talk about Australia, and I'm like, that's not Australia.
Yeah.
This is Australia in my brain's story is Australia.
Don't say it, Harry. Don't say it, Harry.
This is my fucking Australia. You can't like.
Yeah.
You just It's anything. I think, and it comes down to this, right? I mean, pretty much what I found out is that it's just an identity thing. So like, what you're consciously aware of as to how you justify yourself, basically, like mentally, you don't know. So it'll come out of nowhere. You'll try and talk about Bali. Someone would be like, oh, I was in Bali and I got a scooter and I got drunk and crashed into a car, and you're like, that's not Bali. This is Bali. You know, like we're all constantly doing it, and it's to protect pretty much our own self-image of ourselves.
Yeah.
So like, this is what Bali meant to me when I was in Bali, or this is what Australia was to me when I was in Australia, or whatever, wherever it is, or whatever it is. It can be any sort of topic of conversation. Computers. You know how some people will be like, Samsung's better than iPhone.
Yeah.
iPhone's better than... You know, like you're a fan. It's like, fuck. You don't actually give a shit. You know what I mean? If you had a Samsung, you'd be an iPhone or whatever. If you had the opposite one, you'd be saying the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just it's a way of like you extending your sense of self onto a external thing. Stories, mental thoughts, whatever. But if you watch what you're attaching yourself to, clothes, people who fucking get clothes and shoes and shit, right? And you'll be like, you know, when you're walking down the street, you're like, I feel fresh as fuck. I got new shoes on. You know what I mean? That's ego. Like you just
can relate.
Yeah, I mean, you buy some new shoes, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying shit, right? I'm not saying that, but like, it's when you attach yourself to external things and then consider that as a part of your sense of self. And like, if you said to somebody in a normal conversation, you think shoes are a part of your ego, they'd go, fuck off, idiot. But it's like, well, when you go buy shoes, why do you have such an erection for them? Like, or whatever it is, it can be church. It doesn't matter. People will attach themselves to anything. You know, it's just about being in a group with other people and also having a sense of who you are based off of external things, and you'll do it with anything. You know?
But I think it's kind of scary, like if Barbell Radio.